Hello everyone, it's Tom the taxi driver, and today I'm going to be reviewing car gadgets. That is so nice. Feels like it's fulfilling a childhood dream. Now these things are great. What about a neck cushion? I don't know actually. The epitome of taxi driving. No, that's slipping down, great. Does it actually work though? I think the ultimate problem is that my partners would think I'm radio rental if I had this up. Gadgets that are going to make your life a little bit more comfortable and more enjoyable. Let's get started. First up is this bad boy. This is a car seat cushion made of ultra soft memory foam, and to be fair, it's got multiple usage. So this little cutout here is presumably for a computer chair. You've now got a mobile armchair. Now I've got it in place, but to be honest, I have got to adjust it up a bit because it does raise me up quite high. But I can already feel it's quite a bit softer than the original seat. And what I've already found, and I've driven around with this seat for a while, I've done this in my Heathrow airport shift, I was using that entirely throughout that. It doesn't quite support you as well as the standard seat. The standard seat's got these kind of lumbars and edges that kind of cradle you a little bit more. But this does remove the firmness of the seat. It's a memory foam like cushion. And I found out about this because of someone on the Disney trip. I sat in their cab and I was like, wow, what on earth is that?
That's going straight in my basket.
But now that I'm actually in this seat and it's all pretty smooth and comfortable, what about when I'm not driving the cab? A laptop steering wheel tray. It literally clips on the steering wheel like that. You might be looking at that angle and think, actually, this doesn't look that good. Well, you have got to adjust it a little bit. So, firstly, steering wheel in, steering wheel down, and we've already got that level there like that. But what I have to do now is just drop my seat down quite a bit and back and upright more. It looks quite tight on that view there, but I have got a good bit of gap there. This has been great for me in the past whenever you want to quickly do some emails and things like that. I have seen various iterations of how drivers at, say, Heathrow would want to do this. If you've got an iPad that's got the kind of flip case on it, you can just hang it over the steering wheel because you're stuck in the rank at Heathrow, right? You're not going anywhere. You can pop it there, you can watch movies. I quite like this though, because if I want to do any typing stuff on the laptop, it's there. I did used to do it here, but insert this twisting motion like that, not good. So this, much better. But if you are a bit of a larger driver, there is a different way of doing this. But this is reasonably handy to have, and this very neatly, in this cab at least, stows away behind the seat. Yeah. Next up, we have this. So this is kind of like, I believe, one just for an elbow. You can get slimmer ones that I've seen people place here. These are actually not a sticky material. This is one of those sort of clingy materials. And when I first got this, I found it really, really grippy. You know, like it's not sticking or leaving any residue behind. You can't actually move it when you're kind of gripping on it or when you're like this. However, since using this, I've noticed that dust and things have attracted on the bottom, as you'd expect. Conversely, it's not as grippy as it once was. It can slide around a little bit. When you've got weight on it, it's not a problem. That's not going anywhere. This one, because it's a little bit too wide, it's not so good on the windowsill. I'm kind of worried in case you knock it out the window or something. What I like about this is that it's not permanent, so I can put it there and it is really comfortable, I will add that. But then if I need to get in there, I can just take it off, lift it up, get inside of my little pocket there, move it along if I'm feeling like I want to like lean out there. But these all come in a wide variety of different shapes. I'll leave all the links to these products down below. Right, now if we're going for ultra comfort, I've done the cushion, I've done the elbow rests. What about a neck cushion? The thing with this headrest, it's like solid plastic. It's not comfortable at all. Like, I don't like resting against it. It's not fun, and that actually hurts. Why couldn't we get a more comfortable one as a driver? Maybe I could have got some sort of covering over it. I have seen drivers do that. Or perhaps this neck pillow is the answer. This came as a pack of 2. A little bit silly because I haven't got a passenger seat that side, of course. But that, well, I guess I could put it there. But I think the point of this is it supports like the back of your neck. So let's go a bit further down. Right, okay. I'll be honest, when I tried out the cushion and the pad when I was out driving around, I did also try this briefly. The issue I found with this especially if I was using the cushion, was that the cushion would raise me up, so all of a sudden this neck bit was in the wrong place. But even now I've not got the cushion, it's pushing me forward too much. So to compensate, I'm having to tilt the chair back a bit more. Actually, that's kind of nice. I guess it depends on your driving style, but I'm never one to like lean back and actually use a headrest, right? Every now and again you want to lean against it, but I'm kind of more drive like this. But conversely, to get to this position, I've had to tilt the seat back quite a bit. I don't know actually. It's very soft, I will say that, but I've still got the issue that the top of the headrest is quite solid. This one, I've been really excited to try because it feels like it's fulfilling a childhood dream. The spinner knob. Because driving wasn't fun enough, we had to put fidget spinners on the steering wheel. I don't know where I'd want to stick this on the steering wheel, you know? And I'm ever so cautious about maybe even damaging it. I feel like the old sort of 2 o'clock position is going to be correct. It's about there. Right, that just seems to be like where you'd have it. Might be the greatest idea ever, could be the worst. I see why the longer bolts are required now. I have a fat steering wheel, it would appear. So those bolts not long enough. Those bolts longer. It's because this isn't the original steering wheel. Don't tell TFL. I don't really want to do this because it might damage the steering wheel. And how will I ever live with myself? All because I wanted views and clicks on a YouTube video. There we go. Yeah. Right. I'm a bus driver, baby. That's so cool. I feel so dapper right now. That is so nice. I'm very tempted to keep that. I just want to just be in my car park doing that forever. That is great. You know why, right? I mean, you could even do it like this, can't you? You can do the old knob like that. You could. Okay, right. Here's my thoughts. I'm kind of a palm guy. You can generally do most stuff with your palm like that, see? Maybe if you've got like wrist issues, you might not be able to bend your wrist that far, or it might hurt if you sprained your wrist. But mate, this feels so regal. It's not effortless, obviously. You are relying upon the power steering to do it, but that feels like a joy. That feels like a breeze. Just look at that. Like, it encourages you to use it one-handed, which I don't know if is a good or a bad thing. Because I go through different positions when I'm driving. 10 and 2, the racing driver, because obviously that's where your hands would be if you was doing flappy paddle and stuff. You've got the classic cab driver. I want to keep it. I'm one of those things, I don't like bolting something to my cab and then I've got it here now and it's just so fun. Like, not everyday driving, no. Yeah, definitely for doing like parking and stuff. Wow, that's so cool. And especially with the full lock on these cabs. Woo, woo, woo. But if I think I've had all these accessories, a passenger might think, what are you doing? Right, turn around once more. That's a breeze. That is a breeze. At home, I have got the most kick-ass of shoe horns. It's called a Bremerman. It's about that long, and it's like made from solid steel. It is the nuts. I never thought I needed a shoe horn, because my thumb is the perfect shoe horn, until you realise actually that kind of does your thumb in a little bit. That's a little bit inefficient. Now, I can't go back to using my thumb. That is what this is doing. I might have to keep that one, you know. Now, all the gadgets I mention in this video are primarily for increasing comfort, reducing effort, and thereby giving you the most energy to ensure you live your best life. Therefore, I have to mention one obvious and overlooked area of men's health provided by the partner of today's video, Manual. Men's healthcare made easy. We might be going into winter. It's cold, it's dark, it's demotivating. But you might be at a serious disadvantage if you have low testosterone. 1 in 4 men suffer from low testosterone, the symptoms of which include poor quality sleep, increased fatigue, low mood, increased body weight, and madly enough, 90% of men remain undiagnosed as to what their exact testosterone levels are. You might be wondering, how do I test for this? Well, you just use Manual's at-home TRT kit. Yes, a simple finger prick blood test sent off to Manual using their prepaid envelope, and you get the results back in days. Fingers crossed the results come back and you're going to be within an optimal range, or if you are suffering from low testosterone, then you'll receive a bespoke diagnosis and treatment plan if you wish to use their service further. That may include medication, lifestyle advice, or supplements. But it gets even better because Manual are offering you guys 45% off your first at-home TRT blood test. Yes, just use my code TOMH45 or the link in the description down below. I know what my levels are. Do you know yours? Blind spot mirrors. Now these things are great. I first had these blind spot mirrors fitted when I got this cab, because the noticeable thing from the old TX4s to this cab is the fact that the mirrors are that much shorter. So if you measured a TX4 classic diesel taxi alongside this electric taxi, mirror to mirror, they're exactly the same span. This cab has a slightly wider body, and then what they then do is they slim down the mirrors to match. So the biggest thing I noticed when I got in this cab was just how lacking the mirror space was. I needed like extra bits here. The way this really works is that in this blind spot here, I'm not really looking in that mirror. You know those cars that have the little orange light that lights up if someone's in your blind spot? Well, this is kind of a crude way of achieving the same thing. So I'm never directly looking into that blind spot mirror, but there might be something just flash up in there that will not flash up in here. Some of you might be wondering, why have I got the blind spot mirror nearest to the cab? This is important real estate here, because this outermost part of the mirror is potentially displaying the road, and I want to see that because this is in proper good vision, whereas the blind spot, because it's wider, it's much smaller. That's kind of redundant information anyway. I know that my wing is my cab. There's no information I can discern from that. So I leave this as much clarity as possible away from the cab, and this is nearer to the cab. So I think that's the best spot for the blind spot. These are a real nice, easy addition to the taxi. Show me you're a taxi driver without telling me you're a taxi driver. The epitome of taxi driving. Does it actually work though? Well, let's give it a go. This is going to be the headrest portion. So let's get rid of this bad boy and put you somewhere like, oh, go over like that, is it? It's just the back, isn't it? So can it go through the headrest? Have I found a feature for this, a use for this hole? That might work, you know? No, it must. Let me refer back to the photos. Yeah, over the top. No, that's slipping down, great. Oh, really? Tie you around like that. Sick, right, you're in place. Yeah, man, look at that. That can't be comfortable, right? I mean, I'm not stuck to the back of the chair, right? I've got movement here. The thing I think instantly, if I drive around a corner, I'm going to be rolling over these beads because they spin. The whole idea of these beads is you have to get super hot. Like if you're in a really hot country, you always see taxi drivers in hot countries with these, right? But it's nowhere near as uncomfortable as I thought it'd be. In fact, it's mildly fun. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do the windows up and I'm gonna get really hot in here. I'm gonna say yes, like I think yes. Why else would so many cab drivers use this? And plus it looks cool, it matches the interior of my cab, clearly. More work needed, but it's not as uncomfortable as I thought. I'm even sitting on a portion of it and that's fine. Yeah. Little bit more serious and a lot more excited for this one. Now, what's cool about this is it's a real cool compact unit. 2 and 4 amps USB normal, the one that you always get around the wrong way, and USB-C. But you've also got a lightning cable, retractable, so at whatever length you want it. So if I want it that long, fine, and you just do that and it retracts. If I want it that long, there, look at that. I have got cables all over this cab, but they just kind of go everywhere. But how well does it work in a TXE? Because you've only got the one cigarette lighter. So this is what I mean by cable. Just look at all this in here. So my current setup is this bad boy is my USB-C that then goes out of here, under there, and then up to here. Anyway, so I can charge my phone, which is up here. But that's a lot of faff going on there. So let's get rid of these cables. Let's get rid of that one. Let's put this in here. Fantastic. It lights up. It must be working. Only one slight problem. Well, it shuts. You have to have it folded in that direction or not quite that direction. Oh dear. So in theory, I need a cigarette lighter to cigarette lighter adapter to kind of extend this cigarette lighter, because the problem is this. It sits too high. That's a real shame that, because that's quite a good design, but it's just not as compatible for the TXE. This gadget, bit of a game changer, and if those of you who've watched this channel for some time will have seen this before, and that is this meal heating stove. These come in different shapes and sizes. This was one of like the OG ones that I saw on Amazon a while ago, and I'd seen people like Stormcab and other people review. Basically, 12 volt, and inside of there is a heating element in the bottom here. So all you do is whatever meals you've pre-made, you put them in like the foil containers that you would get from like your local takeaway or whatever, pop them in there, and it takes about, depending on the size of the meal, about 45 minutes to an hour or so to come out like piping hot, really, really hot. The only reason I don't use this a lot in the cab is depending on what meals you put in there, it can smell the cab out a little bit, and you can get a lot of moisture come out of it. As soon as you open that, because the seal on it is so good, you do get moisture kind of just condensation and stuff just fly out of there because of how hot it is. This could also be good for reheating stuff. So if you maybe bought like a sausage roll or something from Greg's earlier in the day, chuck it in there for 20 minutes or so, you can reheat it and it'll be quite enjoyable. In terms of specifications this running, there is a little 15 amp fuse in there, and it does say on the bottom 144 watts. Caveat, I have checked in the LEVC owner's manual, and supposedly the auxiliary plugs, the maximum output of the socket is 120 watts. Someone in the comments is probably going to know a little bit more about car electronics than me, but I'd imagine because this is kind of just an element that's kind of like retaining heat, it's not like I'm trying to like draw a stupendous amount from here, or I'm trying to put like a hairdryer in the 3-pin plug in the back of the taxi. This has been absolutely fine. I've used it dozens of times in this taxi, not been a problem at all. This one, I won't even say so much it's a gadget, I would say it's essential, especially in this cab. A car seat gap filler. Most modern cars now, because of how sort of tight all the seat and everything fits in the driver's compartment, if you do drop coins and loose change down the side, you kind of lose it. Even worse in this cab, because it doesn't just fall on the floor, there's recesses in the cab where it falls and it's never to be seen again. I think there's probably about a good £5 worth of change around here. I've nearly lost £20 notes and things. I've heard of drivers who have lost AirPods down there. I've heard of one story, customer put their phone on this change tray, it then knocked, it went down, and it's within the recess of the cab, and they basically said, really sorry, I can't get to it. And the only way to get to these items is to actually take the seat out and then being able to pull back some of the lining and strip around and get to it. So this will be the best thing ever. This has obviously got the special slot in there that goes around the seat belt, and then it just pokes down the side there. And that will just save you losing change, AirPods, whatever could fall down the side there. Last item, sun visors. Where's the instructions? Hold the visor with the open part of the clip facing you. The lens should be below the clip. Okay. That's a big old clip. Look at the size of that clip. I would imagine, because you'd have them up like that, right? So do they clip like that and then you bring them down? You know what, I'm gonna go rogue with this. Something, yeah, like that. Aha. Yeah, but now I'm getting double lens. I mean, I'm being blinded by the sun now, so hopefully this will work. Come on. God, they are terrible. They're just massive and gargantuan. I mean, look, I can fold it out the way, fine, no harm done. No harm done, right? I can just, look. I don't know, really. Not protected. That's protected. And I can still see through it, actually. Let's try the ultralight one. Some of you will remember that I used to wear yellow tinted glasses, and they did make a remarkable difference.
Sometimes when you get eye strain at night.
Aha, now I've taken it off, it does look a lot better. I think the ultimate problem is that my partners would think I'm radio rental if I had this up. Like, just look at all of this going on here. Imagine me like picking up, hello sir, where would you like to go? With my beaded seat cushion and my... It is blocking the light, but what's wrong with a pair of sunglasses? It works, right? I'm not doubting it, because it has to work, because this is science. This brings in more light, but it also makes white light less harsh. That's what I found when I had those specky Joe 90 glasses before, right? And of course, this is then going to reduce the amount of light coming in. Fine. It definitely works. I reckon I might get reported to TfL if a punter sees me using that. Look at it. Get rid of it. There's a reason why they're cheap. If you've enjoyed this, then you might enjoy this video over here where I share everything that I keep in my taxi. So not just gadgets, but everyday essentials that help me conduct my job as a London taxi driver. I'll leave that one over here.